I thought I was just changing plans last night until I realized I was catching a much deeper pattern in myself.
And honestly, this is one of the biggest reasons I use voice to AI the way I do. Because what started as a normal night turned into a moment of clarity I probably would have missed completely if I kept it trapped in my head. So last night, my daughter had classes during the day. Then we went to a birthday party, then dinner, and afterward, I had plans to go out for the evening. I had already arranged for her grandmother to keep her overnight. Everything was set. But while we were at dinner, I realized I forgot her allergy medication at home. And immediately my brain started calculating. Okay, I'll drop her off, then go back, then bring the medication, then continue my night. So that's what I did. And during the drive, I was listening to a conversation on YouTube. They were talking about women who make themselves overly available versus women who maintain boundaries and protect their energy differently. And honestly, something in me got uncomfortable listening to it because I started thinking about the plans I had made. I was supposed to meet up with a friend, but if I'm being honest, I noticed something. If I hadn't reached out first, they probably wouldn't have reached out to me at all. And that realization created friction in me because I started seeing a pattern of overextending, a pattern of always initiating, a pattern of making myself available even when something internally felt off. And what's interesting is, old version of me probably would have ignored that feeling completely. I would have pushed through, gone out anyway, overrode my intuition. But this time, I paused. And then something happened. The plans fell through anyway. She couldn't go anywhere. And honestly, instead of forcing another plan, I brought my daughter home and stayed in. And later that night, I opened dictation mode and started processing everything out loud. Not because I was trying to make content, but because I needed clarity. I needed to understand why that moment affected me so much. And as I started talking, everything became clearer. Because for verbal thinkers, sometimes clarity doesn't happen internally. It happens through expression. So I started unpacking the themes out loud. Boundaries, availability, loneliness, overextending, ignoring internal friction, wanting connection, wanting reciprocity. And once AI organized my thoughts afterward, I could suddenly see the pattern clearly. That's the powerful part, because when thoughts stay trapped in your head, everything feels emotionally tangled. But when you speak them out loud and let AI reflect the patterns back to you, you start recognizing yourself differently. You start noticing where you abandon yourself, where you override your intuition, where you seek connection from depletion instead of alignment. And honestly, this process has changed the way I make decisions now. Because instead of immediately reacting emotionally, I process externally first. I talk it out. I let the themes surface. I let the patterns reveal themselves. And what's beautiful is this same process that helps me gain clarity also becomes content. Not forced content, real content. Lived experience turned into insight. That's literally how this explainer was created. One normal night, one moment of friction, one voice note, then clarity, then pattern recognition, then a full long-form explainer. And honestly, I think a lot of people are carrying important realizations they'll never fully see because they never externally process anything. Everything stays mentally stored, unreleased, unorganized, looping internally. But sometimes one spoken thought can reveal an entire pattern underneath your life. So if something has been sitting heavy on your mind lately, try this. Open voice mode. Talk through the situation honestly. Then ask AI, what themes or patterns do you notice here? You might uncover something deeper than the actual situation itself. And if you want the exact system I use to turn thoughts into clarity, pattern recognition, content, and even income using voice and AI, I put everything together step by step in the link in my bio. Because sometimes clarity isn't hidden. It's just buried underneath thoughts that were never fully expressed.